Okay, I've got quite a few questions on how I prepare my drag tires. So I'm going to show you how to go from the tire on the right to what I get from the tire on the left. Got a little bit of 400 grits wet dry sandpaper and a couple different grits of Scotch-Brite pad. Drill press is running about 900 RPM. I just take the dead stock tire, I'll glue that back half into it. Made a little mandrel out of a Dremel piece and some tape. Get that on there and spinning, kind of square it up a little bit. I'll sand that stripe off using a 400. Put my fingers underneath just to keep the tire from sliding down off the mandrel. This part usually takes a couple minutes. Those mold lines are usually pretty heavy. Just keep flipping the paper around to a new spot so I'm not trying to remove material with the clogged up paper. Slowly see that line starting to disappear. I usually like to do this with my thumb because it gives a little bit of a contour to the surface of the tire. It's kind of like it's inflated. You don't have to have a drill press to do this. You can do this with your regular hand drill. Anything that you can find that'll spin a tire quick enough to hold sandpaper to it. Now that most of that line's gone, I'm going to take the gray Scotch-Brite, which is a little bit heavier. I'm going to go over the tire some more. I'm going to do the sidewalls a little bit so that it looks like it's been rolling on the flat spot on the bottom of the tire. Radius the edge a little bit. There's usually a little seam on the back. I usually try to knock that off as well. It kind of takes away a little bit of the lettering, but it also gives it a real nice worn look. Who's going to be looking at the back sides of the tires anyways, right? Radius that edge a little bit on the bottom. See, it started coming down off that mandrel, so I'm going to move it back up. Just keep working it back and forth with the Scotch-Brite. I usually try to let it heat up a little bit. It gives it that little burned fringe look on the outer edges. can actually feel the heat of the tire. Well, I can on my fingers. One of these days I'll come up with a better way to hold this tire in here, but for right now it works just fine. Once I've gone over it with the Scotch-Brite, you know, I'll pull it off and take a look at it and make sure that it's everything that I was hoping for, and I'll put it back in there, put it back on, and I'll go to this real fine Scotch-Brite just to kind of clean it up a little bit, smooth everything out just that much more. Especially in the sidewalls and right on the edges. And I'll go back once more with the coarse Scotch-Brite just in the tread area, just to give it that spun look. And that's it. That's how I do my slicks. Hope this helps some of you guys.